Hello, everyone. My name is Travis Frost. I'm a consultant for the EPA, and I'm excited to inform you about the newly proposed Downeast LNG project. Now, before we get into the details, I just want to give you guys a basic overview. This project aims to establish an LNG marine terminal in New England, specifically Robinson, Maine, that is capable of receiving, storing, and regasifying LNG while ultimately increasing natural gas storages and access. This terminal would require 80 acres of land, and the final proposal requests authorization to build a new marine terminal, including a pier, 2 LNG storage tanks, and various surrounding buildings and processing equipment. The exponential consumption of fossil fuels has led to record-setting yearly increases in atmospheric levels of CO2, while increasing the average global temperature of 0.2 degrees over the last decade. And having greater access to natural gas and its uses would be very beneficial to the environment because natural gas emits 50 to 60% less carbon dioxide following combustion. Also, in regards to air pollution, it produces negligible amounts in comparison. If you look on this chart on the right over here, this goes over mortality and the effects that air pollution has on humans. In 2014, air pollution was responsible for 3 million deaths, and it's actually labeled as a carcinogen by the WHO as of 2013. And if we look, it can cause lung cancer, COPD, asthma, even heart issues such as stroke and ischemic heart disease. And if we could get more use of natural gas, we would lower the amount of air pollutants in the atmosphere, and that would be beneficial to human health. Another environmental benefit would be seen in regards to natural gas is safer to transport. Now, by no means am I saying that LNG transportation is completely safe. Accidents do happen and will continue to happen. But when they do happen, we would rather have natural gas involved rather than other fossil fuels such as oil. Big reason is natural gas doesn't mix with water. It doesn't mix with water, doesn't get in, doesn't pocket up on the surface and get in these fish's lungs and other marine life. It also doesn't make these slick pockets which suck oxygen out of the water. Also, uniquely enough, microorganisms can dissolve it before it has reached the surface. And an example of this is seen in the Deepwater Horizon accident, in which great amounts of natural gas escaped into the surrounding water, but after cleanup was fully completed, scientists determined that methane-eating microbes degraded much of the natural gas without evidence of serious harm to the surrounding environment. And there are also less spills with natural gas in regards to other transportation types, if you look at the bottom half of this slide. Once again, the point of this slide, I'm not saying that LNG is completely safe in regards to transportation, but like I said, accidents will happen and do happen, and it would be much more beneficial to have natural gas involved in comparison to other fossil fuels. One harmful effect of this would be deforestation. Deforestation is harmful in many ways. It has ecosystem disruption and spreading of disease. And in Maine, Lyme disease is the big one. And this was taken into consideration, and they have thought of ways to negate this and minimize it. One of the ways would be on the selection of the location for existence. For example, it was taken into consideration as the proposed pipeline would be spotted right of way immediately adjacent to previously existing rights of way to minimize forest and habitat loss. Along with this, guidelines will be followed, such as the Maine's Department of Environmental Protection. A shorebird mitigation plan will be implemented, and consultations will continue with the Maine Division of Inland Fish and Wildlife to develop and implement deer wintering area mitigation measures. A second one would be noise pollution. And noise pollution has multiple harmful effects on both humans and animals. In humans, it has sleep disturbances, anxiety, hearing loss, and it can actually cause habitats to flee their surrounding ecosystems and become less sexually active. And this will become negated by the use of vibratory pile drivers and recommendations from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration fisheries. Once the terminal and pipelines are established, monitoring will be primarily categorized into 3 major parts: terminal, pipeline, and LNG vessel monitoring. The onboard containment system for LNG vessels will include extensive onboard cargo monitoring and will relate to the receiving, transportation, and discharge of the product. Hazard detection systems will be implemented to continuously monitor for terminal fires, combustion, and gas leaks, and pipelines will mainly be monitored via pressure sensors to oversee efficacy and safety. Success will be evaluated in regards to if this actually becomes implemented. There are strict regulations and there's a strict approval process that has to be followed, and there are copious amounts of energy, time, and money that are also put into it. We're also going to compare outputs and terminal activity to similar establishments, while also comparing the current projections of the site to the original projection of 500 million cubic feet per day. Now I just want to leave you guys with this last slide here as it relates to atmospheric levels of CO2. And we are just drastically going up at a harmful rate, and natural gas would not solve this problem, but switching to more natural gas, having greater access, would make a great step in the right direction. Thank you for your time.